reports of unidentified flying objects per capita than any other state in the country. That's according to data from the National UFO Reporting Center. You'd think they're the authority on this. Washington residents have reported at least 6,812 UFO sightings. The earliest ones report back to the 1940s. The National UFO Reporting Center is based in Washington, another sign that the state is truly the place to be to spot ET. Chris Rutkowski, a science writer who specializes in UFOs, he's the author of Canada's UFOs Declassified. Joining us on the show, Chris, I've been looking forward to this segment from the second I found out you were booked. UAPs, as we call them now, have been in the news a ton lately. So why are so many popping up in the Pacific Northwest, around Washington and California out there?
Well, that's a really good question. No question. California has twice the number of UFOs as Washington State, although per capita, Washington State beats them out. It's hard to say exactly why Washington seems to have more, although it is related to population, and yet we have so many fewer in Washington State, so many fewer in California per capita than Washington State. It's a mystery, and this is what drives us to try and understand the phenomenon even more. We don't have all the answers, and that's why we're investigating.
Oh, man, we're looking at some of the most popular sightings confirmed by the Pentagon, some of the real head-scratchers that have been coming out in this recent push for disclosure lately. People seem to be really interested about this phenomenon. Listen to Scott Bray. This is the Deputy Director of National Intelligence talking about it.
Given the nature of our business, national defense, we've had to sometimes be less forthcoming with information in open forums than many would hope. If UAP do indeed represent a potential threat to our security, then the capabilities, systems, processes, and sources we use to observe, record, study, or analyze these phenomena need to be classified at appropriate levels.
Okay, let's take away the legalese, Chris. Do you think Congress ever gets to the bottom of what the government and government officials really know about this phenomenon?
Well, it would be nice if they would. This isn't actually the first congressional investigation of UFOs. Gerald Ford, back in 1966, before he was president, had suggested and pushed for a congressional investigation, and that actually occurred in 1968. And a number of scientists testified before Congress. It was taken quite seriously back then. Unfortunately, during the 1960s, the United States Air Force had something called Project Blue Book. We've probably heard of that. Well, the year after the congressional investigation of 68, Project Blue Book was closed down. So let's hope that this time it turns out a little bit differently.
Chris, let's say it's not weather phenomenon. Let's go ahead